Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play UnderRail Expedition with me, Dawn. Let's turn in this quest to Captain Meredith. Also, I did look around Fort Apogee for a rift. I couldn't find one. I looked it up. There is not one in Fort Apogee. Because I was losing my mind. I looked everywhere. Twice, and I couldn't find it, so... Anyway, Captain Meredith. Captain Meredith seems surprised to see you. Corporal, you're alive. Though we lost you. No, I thought we lost you. He pauses as he takes a good look at you. I see you are on a revolting green husk of your former self, which is a positive thing. That's because I'm the Invictus. I am invincible. It must be some southern thing I don't understand. Oh wait, you're talking about the arena? He laughs. Whatever you say, Corporal. You really are amusing. In the end, what matters the most is that the free drones are gone. Well, not all of them. Some are scattered throughout South UnderRail, but their main layer is gone for good. As for us, we were just saying goodbye. Our work here is done. Right, Des? She giggles. I want to get as far away from these ratters as I can. I feel like I'm going to get a disease or something. Charming, isn't she? Oh, would you mind telling me the name of that idiot that rigged the mutagen, so we can make sure he doesn't make the same mistake again? Actually, someone from outside Fort Apogee did it. Oh, why would you... Never mind. Hope you've learned from your mistakes. Are we leaving, Julius? The lady is impatient. We have to move on, I'm afraid. He chuckles. No rest for the wicked. So, do you have any more questions before we leave? Nope, salute and leave. 3 experience. Coolio. Alright, let's talk to Colonel Cathcart. Corporal, I was informed by Captain Meredith that the mission was a complete success. I'm glad you're alive, soldier. That's what I like to see. A survivor. Also, the CIA will be leaving soon, if they haven't gone already. He leans closer. Good riddance. As for you, you deserve some R&R. Payment for both missions done under Captain Meredith's command is waiting for you, plus a small bonus. You know where to collect it, Corporal. Ah, Corporal, come on in. What can I do for you? Nothing. Alright, are we done with, the Protectorate? Is that their last quest? I guess we got rid of their biggest competitor. But there's also the Faceless, so... I assume that we're done? Alright, I'm here to collect my payment, Staff Sergeant. Heh, yes. I was informed of that. Let's see. 2 missions plus a bonus. That'd be $600, Corporal. That's a lot of blues. He smirks before continuing. What did you do? Annihilate the free drones? Faceless? He laughs. Actually, I decimated free drones base in South UnderRail, sir. Or annihilated, if you prefer that term. Or if you really prefer that term. Fraser's smirk contracts into confusion and shuts him up for a brief moment. It doesn't last long, however. Well, I wasn't told anything about that yet. Strange. Truly. Here are your blues, Corporal. He hands you 600 United States dollars. His stare flees yours and hides in a chart he just picked up. Alright, let's see. Any spring boots for me? Probably not. I'll go ahead and grab those. I don't have anywhere else to spend these. I'm gonna go ahead and just... I just want these Sharons. Or Stygian coins, sorry. Alright. So I left. I'm gonna go back in there real quick and see if they have anything else to say. Nope. Nope. Okay. We said something about R&R. Let's go see if I have a bunk bed or a bunk in see about resting and then coming back and talking to him. Also, the doctor here won't heal you. I talked to her and she didn't have an option of treating my wounds unless I missed it. Yeah, she doesn't have an option to treat your wounds here, which is a little disappointing. Alright, do I have a bunk here? That was all like it. They didn't even give me a footlocker. Okay. Well. Fine. Alright, I guess we're going to the Institute of Tchort to deal with that. And I haven't forgotten about the rig. Going and trying to sneak into that back area on the rig. Supposedly there's an oddity back there. I'm feeling a little pressured for time and levels. I don't think we'll have a problem hitting level 28, but I'm not sure how big the last area of the game is, the deep caverns. So I don't know. What the potential experience is. Because if we look at the oddities here, there's not a lot more to find. There's a fair bit. Now, I did miss one major quest line, so I'm sure missing that major quest line in that new area I could go to, I'm going to miss out on a few of these oddities. Well, I found one of 3 mutated cockroaches. Alright, well, to the Institute. Alright, let's talk to Freighter Denzel. The man seems somewhat uneasy as you come near him. Even though you're unable to see his face, what you're able to notice how his body language expresses his apprehension. He is unable to stand completely still. He either taps his foot or crosses and uncrosses his arms, or nervously looks all around him. When you near him, you notice a symbol on his uniform, a circular eye with 2 tentacles sprouting from it, similar to the symbol on the large doors behind him. Soon, he speaks with a voice that sounds tense and hasty in one moment, and cold in the other. What is it? Who are you? Are you one of the Tchortists? I'm Freighter Denzel, and yes, I am a Tchortist. In case you haven't noticed, you're standing at the entrance to Institute of Tchort, and all these robed guards, the Racifors, are its members as well. We're here to preserve safety of the Institute, so be very careful of your actions during your time here. You got your answer. Now leave me alone. Can you tell me more about Tchortism and the Institute of Tchort? He sighs. No, I don't have the time for it. I'm busy. Not even a few words? Come on, I'm not asking you to give me the full history of the organization. If you insist, he sighs. The Institute of Tchort is an institution centered around Tchort, a magnificent creature whose sole existence is a source of unimaginable knowledge and is an inspiration to all Tchortists. Ever since our founder, Idon, first studied Tchort's genome, he discovered the potential to improve mankind, to direct human evolution towards new heights. Tchort is evolution. Evolution is Tchort. One cannot go without the other. And now, since you got a brief summary, you're going to leave me alone. I have important work to do. I would like to become a member of your organization. I'm sorry, but we can't accept new members at this particular time. We are full, so to say. As you can see, if you were to look around you, all these people here are waiting to join the Institute. But alas, as I've already mentioned, we cannot accept new members. Still, that doesn't stop them from waiting, which is to be respected. Tchort might reward their wait, but not at this time, unfortunately. I don't think you understand me. I really want to become a Tchortist. What is the matter with you? Are your ears vestigial? It's like you can't hear me properly. We do not accept new members. Now buzz off. Alright, buzz off. Is that your answer? I am so disappointed. I never even suspected that a representative of such a grand and enchanting organization such as the Institute of Tchort would say something so foul to me. I was willing to dedicate the rest of my days to Tchortism, and to happily spend those very days surrounded by men and women, brothers and sisters, who are above all the low-life scum inhabiting the rest of UnderRail. Magnificent Tchort, he must be some inbred bastard who lost the ability to understand human language several generations ago. Jeez. He makes a short pause to allow some of the steam to come out, and prevent him from exploding. Look, you don't want to be disturbing an F-Raider. I can order these Rastafors here to cull you instantly, and they wouldn't even flinch. Order them anything you want, but I'm standing my ground here. I want to join the Institute, and I'm willing to do anything to achieve that goal. Something tells you that, despite him looking just angry on the outside, on the inside he's probably turning into a ball of plasma, reaching temperatures high enough to ignite nuclear fusion. Suddenly he cools down, and his tone of voice becomes calmer, losing the red-hot edge. Anything you say? Anything you say? Interestingly, there is, well, an issue we could use some help with. Oh, do tell. We have an issue with a missing figurine, a very important metal figure. It was stolen from us, and we need it back. Now, we aren't precisely sure who did it, but we suspect those devolved lunatic inbreds to be behind the theft. We found a figurine when we went and killed those lunatics at the mall. They taint everything they touch with their filthy hands. The metal figurine depicts a man reaching for the surface. He points up there. If you can find it, we might make a deal about you joining us, brother. What is the deal with this figurine anyway? Why is it so important? I'm not at liberty to reveal that information to you. If you do manage to retrieve it, then you'll find out more. Where should I start looking for it? Well, our Rastafari scouts have learned some time ago that large groups of lunatics were seen in the vicinity of the Emporian shopping mall. That's west of here. The lunatics are the ones who took the figurine. That would be the best start. And what can you tell me about lunatics? Culling material, no question about it. They're as mentally derailed as one can be, and are, therefore, extremely unpredictable. Their motives, patterns of thought, or anything about them is impossible to figure out. They're powerful psionics, mind you. That's pretty much the only thing we're sure about them. And why would they want that figurine? I don't know. I don't think they even know. I don't even think they know. It is all under the assumption that they are the ones who stole the figurine. Is there any other way for me to join your organization? It's like you paid no attention to what I was talking about before. No, the figurine is the only thing that will make me consider trying to get you in. End of story. Jeez. Alright, let's see. Is this the figurine you're looking for? His voice reveals instant excitement as soon as he is presented with the figurine. Wait, you had it on you this whole time? Why didn't you tell me about it? I didn't know you were looking for it. He smiles. Yes, that's the figurine alright. Where did you find it? In the big shopping mall west of here. You're right all along. The lunatics were the ones responsible for its theft. Unexpectedly, Denzel falls silent. It looks like he wants to say something, but perhaps can't find the right words. Hold on, I know what you're thinking. You never thought I'd be able to find and bring you the darn figurine. You just wanted me to leave you alone. Yes and no. Mostly yes. Look, I don't owe you an explanation. Listen. He sighs. You did us a great favor. That is undeniable. It's just that as I didn't really expect you to be able to accomplish the given task, that is all. I'm just astonished. But you figured that for yourself as far as I can see. Well, hope our deal still stands. You will not... Oh, sorry. You will not get this figurine otherwise. He sighs. A deal is a deal. Hand me the figurine, and then I'll go inside and discuss your request with my superiors. It stays with me until you come back. You go talk to your superiors first, then you'll see the figurine again. The Rastafors around you turn toward you, and you feel the atmosphere beginning to heat up again. Denzel, surprisingly, cools it back down with a single hand signal to his subordinates. That's trippy, single and then signal. I suppose that is acceptable, but don't leave the courtyard. I'll return soon. I'm stumbling all over the words this morning. Just as he goes to leave, he turns back to you again. Wait a moment, I never caught your name. Brondon. Brondon. Alright, Brondon. Wait in front of the Institute. Here. I'll be back as soon as I talk to someone. Just be patient. Tchort guide you. Wait for him to return. There we go. Alright. About to join the Institute. You wait and you wait, and as more time passes, you begin to wonder if Ephraitor Denzel is actually going to come back. After all, he couldn't wait to get rid of you the first time you talked. But then you remember that strange metal figurine is still in your hands, the one that Tchortists want so badly. You begin thinking about this strange piece of metal, about what awaits you ahead. However, your thoughts are soon interrupted by footsteps following a hurried rhythm you've already heard before. It is Ephraitor Denzel. Brandon, I have talked to... He catches breath. To the median and explain the situation to him. Therefore, the official word is as follows. You'll be allowed to enter the Institute building, be interviewed, and if deemed fit, you'll be offered Institute of Tchort membership. All that in exchange for the figurine you possess. Speaking of which, I would like to take it now, then I'll lead you inside. Can you finally tell me what's the deal with this figurine? Why is it so important to you? He sighs. It is a part of a larger collection which is being assembled in celebration of the Institute of Tchort's 100th anniversary. Indeed, Foundry is commissioned to create this beautiful work of art and send it to us. After some unfortunate delays, it was due to finally arrive, but the carriers of the figurine were intercepted. I was tasked to mobilize troops and retrieve it, and that is exactly what I did, with your help. Soon it will be back in Iodine's hands, as it should be. Happy? Now if you let me have the figurine, I'd be glad to show you to the interview room. Hi, I am ready. Take this. Give him the figurine. Ephraitor Denzel slowly picks up the figurine and scrutinizes it. Despite the fact that his face is covered with a mask, you're certain that a pleased grin lurks beneath it. His admiration doesn't last for long, though. He looks at you and signals you to follow him. I feel like they could literally do anything to me, and no one would be any the wiser. This one or this one? This one. What do you say? Get inside. The praepostor will be with you shortly. Okay. Alright, Praepostor Amelia. The room you were in made you claustrophobic and uneasy from the start. Not necessarily by the fact that the room is indeed small, but by how small your pool of options becomes should something unwelcome occur. You prepared yourself for the worst, knowing that you'll be in an unfamiliar place where anything is possible and can go awry. See, I was right to exude caution. Well, seeing this beautiful woman dressed in a black robe, which almost inappropriately flows over her feminine features, accenting them enough even for the blind to see what was most certainly not what you were expecting. The deathly robe envelops her resting face like a black oil being spilled over a shiny lump of gold. Her striking olivine-colored eyes immediately meet yours. Her smooth face, free of imperfections, seems like it has been crafted out of marble by several of the finest artists in existence working together. Her golden hair, mostly concealed by the sinister hood, still manages to gently flow out of it and present its luxuriance. Her voice is much akin to her appearance. It too has a distinct, seductive charm. It resonates with appeal and warmth, and while being mostly level, it never becomes monotone nor boring. Tchort is evolution. I'd like to welcome you to the Institute of Tchort, postulant. My name is Amelia, and I am the Institute's praepostor. I'm assuming I'm saying that right. Your name is Brandon, if I'm not mistaken. It is whatever you say it is. No, alright, that is correct. It's a pleasure to meet you, praepostor. She gives you a soft smile. The pleasure is mutual, Brandon. Despite the current situation, you have somehow managed to find yourself before me. The Ephraitor was very convincing when he spoke to the rest of us about your deeds. Know that we are making an exception for you. Just for you. For I'm sure the Ephraitor told you our institution is not accepting new members. Now, I'd like you to ask several preliminary questions, general in nature, before we advance this interview. So, you're interested in joining the Institute of Tchort, becoming a Tchortist, is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Tell me something of yourself, Brondon. Where are you from? I don't live in a single place. I roam south UnderRail, wherever I find a comfortable place. Can you tell me what guides you through life? What motivates you? Try to give me a concise answer. Yeah, let's say this. I've dedicated my life to protecting all that is good and beautiful. I believe one man, whoever he may be, and from wherever he comes from, can influence the world and change the world for the better. Interesting. And you feel that, with that philosophy in mind, joining the Institute of Tchort is the right decision. I believe so. You believe so? And how much exactly do you know about the Institute of Tchort and the general ideology of Tchortism? I'd attended one of Minister Percival's lectures in Core City, and was fascinated by what I heard during it. That was one of the main reasons I decided to come here. Very good, Brondon. Minister Percival is one of our finest propagators, and I'm sure his lecture is very insightful. Still, allow me to elaborate our ideology, just to make sure you're familiar with, at least for now, its main principles. Afterwards, you will have to make one final choice of joining our institution or not, if you're still willing. The Institute of Tchort is an institution dedicated to the study and celebration of Tchort, a primordial being that was discovered in deep caverns nearly 100 years ago by Idine, the founder of this institution, as well as Tchortism. What he had discovered then and there was magnificent. The creature had been undergoing a unique cycle of regeneration. It was completely formless, changing and adapting to the current environment. Since Idine was, and still is, the only person that can communicate with Tchort, he was able to study it and uncover what secrets it holds within its magnificent genome. He learned that Tchort holds the key to evolving the human race to new heights, one day perhaps through directed evolution, as Idine originally named it. Humankind will hopefully find a way to adapt to the life on the surface and escape this gloomy underworld. Principally, Tchort represents two things, the physical being and the knowledge it holds. Consequently, Tchortism, being guided by Tchort, aims to direct human evolution with its help. In essence, that is who Tchortists are and what we stand for. Which brings us to the next question. Tell me, Brondon, do you still stand by your previous decision? Do you still wish to become a member of the Institute of Tchort? If your answer is positive, then we can finally start with the second phase of the interview. I haven't changed my mind. We can proceed. She smiles. Very good. I'm pleased to hear that, even though that is the answer I expected from you. Now, allow me to explain what happens next. I'm going to be asking you a set of questions. Simple questions that require no hard thinking, only honesty. You answer these questions and any sub-questions that might arise during the process. Don't worry, this won't take long. Let's begin with the first question. She takes a single piece of paper containing the questions, clears her throat and begins. Have you been sent here knowingly to injure Tchortism? No. She looks at you a bit longer than usual, after which she writes something on the paper. Next question. How do you feel about Tchortism? Yeah, let's put it this way. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think it was worth my time. Very good. Next question. Do you think there is anything wrong with having your privacy invaded? It depends on the situation. If it's for the greater good, then no. I do not think it is wrong. Otherwise, I'm not too keen on the concept. Interesting. Next question. Have you ever been a drug addict? No. Next question. Have you ever killed anyone? Yeah, let's go with this. No, that's only when it was necessary. Next question. Are you upset by this questioning? No. Why would I be? Next question. Do you hope you won't be found out? I have nothing to hide. You have nothing to hide. That's my answer. She crosses her arms and observes you, occasionally moving her head from left to right and vice versa. Before you get a chance to break the silence, she uncrosses her hands and asks the next question. Next question. Have you ever smothered a baby? Well, there was this ugly little... never mind. Yeah. What? No. What kind of a sick person would do something like that? You'd be surprised what different breeds of people come from. Next question. Have you ever eaten human flesh? I mean, not knowingly. Next question. Would you be willing to sacrifice the lives of several innocent people to save one dear to you? No. I see. Next question. Have you ever felt that there was another creature in your body? A tapeworm once, but other than that, nothing. Next question. Did you ever hurt yourself? I was just thinking about my grenades. It's an answer. Okay, yeah. Only if my grenades land too close. Otherwise, no. Alright, sorry for the edit. I had to step away and do something. Anyway, back to what we're doing. A barely visible quirk appears in the corner of her mouth, threatening to manifest itself into a real, honest smile. Sadly, it lasts but a fraction of a second. Last question. Have you ever been a spy for anybody? Well, you don't want to tell her this because I think that's how you found the cube in the first place, was working for the oligarchs. So that would put you into the position of having seen them steal the cube in the first place, right? So, no? Paprosta Amelia looks at the paper, inspecting all the notes she took during the interview. Afterwards, she puts away the piece of paper and gives you the familiar too long for comfort stare. Luckily, it ends with a pleasant smile. Very good, Brandon. Very good. Those were all the questions I had for you. Now, I'd just like to ask you to give me a sample of your blood and wait patiently for me to return. Yeah, what for? It's something all novitiates must undergo. Novitiates instead of initiates. Anyway, I consider it a kind of initiation. Okay. There are two primary reasons for this. First, it's a tradition that has a symbolic meaning. You give but a small part of yourself to Tchort, and in turn, Tchort will give you the means to adapt and evolve to a whole new height. Second, we test blood of all postulants for health-related reasons. We don't need any surprises. The process is simple and quick. You only feel a little sting. Okay, I have no objection to that. Paprosta Amelia pulls out a strange device. It looks like a large, black, ornamented syringe with a see-through tube that has a tiny metal tentacles climbing towards the needle, twisting around the device. She inserts the needle into your flesh. Externally, you feel but a small sting. Internally, you feel your heart pounding faster and faster. Fortunately, the procedure is over quickly. She pulls out the needle with a smile, and the syringe is now full of your blood. She places a gauze on the wound before stepping away. That's all I need. Please wait for me while I return, Brandon. It won't take long. Alright, I will wait. Congratulations, postulant, or should I say novitiate. You've been selected. Therefore, you've been granted membership to the Institute of Tchort. I suspect you are tired. It was a long and challenging day for you, I'm sure. So I give you a very brief rundown of what awaits you within the Institute. As of now, you're a novitiate, a new member of the Institute of Tchort, whose first task is to familiarize himself with Tchortism, obtain necessary knowledge, and find his place within the institution. We offer many means to do so, but we'll get to that later. The next thing I must tell you is about the three main divisions of Institute of Tchort: preservation, investigation, and propagation. Each of these three divisions has a specific purpose. Preservation exists to protect, or preserve, Tchort, Iodine, the Institute, and all of its members. It prides itself with highly trained and well-equipped individuals. Investigation, on the other hand, concerns itself with obtaining, organizing, and applying knowledge, studying Tchort and the world around us with the ultimate goal of driving, directing human evolution towards a better future. Finally, propagation exists to educate, or propagate said knowledge both within the Institute of Tchort as well as beyond. I hope you're following me so far, Brandon. Novitiates are free to select what suits them best. After they have studied enough and made up their mind, they can select anything they like and perform their part within the Institute of Tchort. Currently, since propagation is undergoing an internal restructuring phase, becoming an acolyte at this stage is highly improbable. So investigation or preservation are divisions I would direct you to for the time being. Of course, if you're really patient and willing, propagation too will open its doors to you at some point. A few more principal things before I finally let you go and rest. As a member, you're granted your own bed in the Institute's sleeping quarters and a personal locker for your belongings. Also, your medallion and your robe have already been placed in it. Now you can find the quarters by going down the right set of stairs, just after entering the main hall. Opposite of that, left from the entrance, is the refectory. I think you might be more familiar with the term canteen. The Institute Library, Iodine's library, is at the second floor to the left, and it's probably the most important place for novitiates. That is where you can read about our history, scientific works, and most importantly, read the original report. The original report? It describes Iodine's first encounter with Tchort, his thoughts and impressions, and documents the beginning of his research. It is an essential read for every Tchortist. Again, Iodine's library should be one of your first stops. While we're on the subject of the library, I must add this. The old destroyed section of the West Wing has recently been reopened by preservation forces. A Rastafari expedition was dispatched there. It is extremely dangerous, and while it is guarded by Rastafars, I must still warn you to avoid it until it has been sealed again. Is that everything I should know? One more thing and we're done. Official greetings and manner of address. When first starting a conversation with any members of the Institute of Tchort, it is a custom for the first speaker to say, "Tchort is evolution," to which the other party replies, "Evolution is Tchort." The meaning of the greeting is clear, I hope. Commonly, you may refer to Tchortists as brother or sister, based on their gender, but if they hold a higher title, a certain notability, then you should address them appropriately. This is already too much information for you. In time, you will learn everything. You're free to go and get some rest, brother. If you have more questions, ask now, or find me in my office at the top level. I'll be glad to answer all the questions you may have about the Institute of Tchort. I have some questions for you before you leave. Can you tell me more about the West Wing? The West Wing was in ruins long before the existence of the Institute of Tchort, and was always sealed off from the rest of the building. When the Great Earthquake of year 24 struck and demolished the library, refectory, and a good part of the main hall, a discussion took place about whether to restore the West Wing together with everything else. Since the Institute building is very large, and especially back when the number of members was smaller, there was no need to rebuild the severely damaged West Wing. It would take away too many resources from other, more important things. Therefore, the entrance to it was sealed again, while other damaged sections were repaired. As years passed, various creatures found their homes in the darkness of the West Wing. People began complaining about scratching sounds coming from the walls, hearing strange voices calling them. Some even mentioned seeing a faceless looking at them from the ventilation grates or other lightless openings. Of course, some of these were just wild exaggerations and outstanding interpretations conjured up by petrified minds. But the fact that the West Wing wildlife has expanded was a real, proven issue. In year 67, more than 40 years after the West Wing had been demolished, a Rastafari expedition led by F-Raider Gromus was dispatched to cull the overpopulated wildlife. The operation was a success, for a time. Culling was going as planned for 2 days. It was slow and methodical due to the West Wing's size and danger factor. Then, after 2 days, contact was lost with the whole expedition. Only one Rastafari returned, mutilated beyond recognition. The poor man dragged the upper half of his severed body back to the checkpoint, but only just. He died moments after seeing his brothers and sisters watching him in horror. The cut that severed his body in half was astoundingly clean, and to this day no one is sure what creature was capable of managing something like that. The West Wing was closed and remained closed for 30 more years until it was reopened recently. Iodine pardoned me, I suppose I should have shortened the story, but there's something fascinating about it. Something mysterious. Well, did you have any more questions? What can you tell me about yourself? I'm sorry, Brondon, but I'd rather not speak of myself. The only thing I'm willing to tell you is that I am an Institute born, and that I have been a dedicated Tchortist for the entirety of my life. Do you have any other questions, Novitiate? I'm interested in some directions. Where do you need to go, Brondon? Sleeping quarters. Going from the direction of the main gate, take the right set of stairs from the main hall, and you'll be there. Next, if you follow a long corridor, you'll get to the room you're situated in, which is also shared with other members. It's the only room with double doors in that area. Iodine's library? Second floor, just as you step into the western section of the Institute of Tchort. Refectory. Going from the main entrance, take the stairs to the left. Very easy to find. Medical office. It's in the same direction as the sleeping quarters, at the very end of one of the corridors near the room you're residing in. You cannot miss it, Brondon. Are there any merchants around here? Food and drink can be purchased in the refectory. Weapons and ammo and preservation armory, East Wing, 2nd floor. For medicine and other medical equipment, talk to our proto-physician, investigator of medicine, Jer Franz. Also, one of the 3 investigation departments might also help you with more specialized equipment, should you need any of that. Where should I go if I'm interested in working for preservation? Second floor, east wing. Once you enter it through the main hall, you will arrive at a central area with a fountain. Once there, take the only stairs up, and you will soon come up to his notability. Mediant Samuel's office. Seek him if you are interested in learning more about preservation. Become an Arasaphore. Where should I go if I'm interested in working for investigation? Investigation consists of 3 departments: genetics, chemistry, and physics. All 3 departments have their laboratories and offices located in the East Wing. Each department is overseen by a principal investigator. They can help you if you're interested in any of the mentioned fields or seek work. Alright, that's all I need to know for now. Well then, welcome to the Institute of Tchort, brother, and Tchort guide you. Wait for her to leave. Alright, so probably 2 more episodes of dialogue if I had to guess. Before we actually get started with questing for the Institute of Tchort. So I'm wondering if you have to make a choice between preservation and investigation, because it made it sound like you could only choose one or the other. I'm hoping to do both, because I want to get as much experience as I can, of course. But I feel like preservation would be more up my alley. I don't really have any of the investigative attributes required, but I definitely have the preservation attributes required, I would think. Anyway, gonna call it here. Next episode we'll actually enter the Institute of Tchort proper and start meeting and greeting the members. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next episode.